growth phase company, the decisions that are coming to me on a daily basis feel like 95-5. They are so much more obvious in terms of decision making and what would be nutritive to the business most of the time. And so you're able to, because also you have simplicity with your stakeholder map, you can move with tremendous speed. That feels very different. Another thing that feels different, obvious but true, I spent most of my time thinking about the profit and loss statement financially, and then would, appreciate the balance sheet. I thought about cash last. In a growth-based company, cash is queen. I think about cash first. I look at cash every single day. And then if we get that right, things will express themselves, properly, and the P&L and balance sheet will be healthy, but cash is queen. There's a fragility to growth phase businesses that just doesn't exist in a larger company. And I was talking to another woman who's an executive in a really cool high growth company. You know the name, they're extremely growthy. They've raised hundreds of millions of dollars. And her husband was joking, like, so are you going out of business today? Like, what happened today? And it's true that things come up, for example, the tariff situation, that we would have been okay, but that was extremely disruptive. And we're lucky that we don't have any debt. We don't have any outside investors. So we've run this business with conservatism so that we can weather these types of things. But I sit on the board of companies, or I know friends that own and run companies, especially if they have a lot of debt, high interest debt that they're servicing, this is not a good situation for them. There's a fragility that's more difficult to navigate. And then probably the last reflection is around talent and culture. In a big company with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of folks, you do have to conform a bit more because you need some standardization or to be able to work together. You need to be able to flex and compromise because you can't just have your way of doing things and then 100,000 people have their way of doing whatever. It could be a big thing like new product introduction or a little thing like your expense receipts. You have to have standardization. In an early phase company, you don't have to have as much of that. And I think early stage attracts people who like to operate with more freedom and creativity. I think the types of folks that thrive in this environment would feel a lot of energy zapping happening for them in a large company and see it as, gosh, you're tying my hands, I feel like I'm in a straitjacket here because you just make me do these things this way. But I also understand that you can't have 100,000 ways of doing things or it's chaos and you'll be really slow. That's actually to try to get speed in a big company. So that's a profound difference.